Welcome back to the Irish Bandit channel, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. I hope you are having an amazing week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but I hope you're having an amazing week so far. I'm back with another edition of Let Me Book. It is where I take a wrestling angle and I book it how I think it should work. I shouldn't say would, how I think it should happen. And it can be anything. Like, I am planning another one. I've mentioned it before, and oh boy, this is going to take all my mental faculties to get this one right. Now, recently, when was Money in the Bank? A couple months ago, Theory won Money in the Bank briefcase, and he promised he was going to cash it in at SummerSlam. He did not. If you watch SummerSlam, which was a great event, first pay-per-view or premium live event, sorry, under Triple H since Vince McMahon's retirement. Theory came down, tried to cash in, but Brock Lesnar wouldn't let him. F5'd him. That was it for Theory. We haven't seen him since. The real reason is, I believe, that his uncle passed away sometime around SummerSlam. So for that, I do send my heart and sympathies out to Theory and his family for the loss of his uncle. Hope to see you back soon, because he is really talented at only being 23 years old. He's a very talented individual, and he's getting it. Like, he spent very little time on the NXT roster before he was called up to the main roster, and he is good. Like, he's former US champion, still holds Money in the Bank. He is good. He's only going to get better with age, though. It's what you see with a lot of these guys in their 20s or so. They're only going to get better as time goes on. I think that holds true for Theory. But what is going to happen with his Money in the Bank run? That's what we're all wondering. Well, WWE, let me book Theory's Money in the Bank run. Since the debut of the Money in the Bank ladder match in 2005 at WrestleMania 21, we have seen like nearly everybody who has cashed in win the WWE World or WWE Championship. Edge, he was the very first one. He held it until New Year's Revolution, where he cashed in on John Cena. Edge did it again, this time taking the briefcase from Mr. Kennedy. CM Punk has done it twice. One time beating Edge, coincidentally enough. Another time beating Jeff Hardy. John Cena has won the Money in the Bank briefcase, but he never won the WWE title off of it. He tried to, but the match ended up in a disqualification. He never won the title. There's only been 2 times where somebody has cashed in and not won the WWE Championship. That being Damien Sandow and Baron Corbin. So we've seen that already, but there's one thing we haven't seen with the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's if somebody goes the full year without cashing it in. So let's start this. We start this at Money in the Bank. We leave everything the way it was, with Theory being the surprise competitor in the match, winning the match, and then doing just what he's done. You know, saying, "Oh, I'm going to cash it in at SummerSlam. I'm going to cash it in at SummerSlam. I'm going to be the new Universal, undisputed, Universal Uwu champion." Uwu? That's all you're going to get from me. So we do that. We continue on with SummerSlam as planned. Tries to cash it in. Fails miserably. With Brock Lesnar F5ing him out of existence. So Theory comes back in a couple weeks and is like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to cash it in. I'm going to cash it in. I'm going to cash in my Money in the Bank briefcase at Clash at the Castle against whoever wins between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns." So Clash at the Castle comes. Match goes down between Drew and Roman. That could be a let me book in itself. But for this purpose, we're going to have Roman win the match, retain the title. And then Theory comes out to try and cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. He goes to cash it in. All of a sudden, lights go down and you start hearing dead silence play on the arena. You're like, "Oh crap, here comes Karrion Kross." Because Karrion Kross is back now. Karrion Kross comes out and obliterates Theory, because he does not want anyone going after Roman Reigns before him. So, because he wants he wants to vindicate himself after everything that happened with him last year when he got called up to the main roster and got put in that ridiculous gladiator outfit and then was released. Old regime, I'm loving the new regime so far. But yeah, that is Karrion Kross's whole MO here. No one gets a shot at Roman before him. Nobody. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter if they have the Money in the Bank briefcase. No one gets a shot at Roman before him. So every time Theory comes out, it's just basically rinse and repeat. It might get a little old after a while, but Theory comes out, tries to cash in. Karrion Kross comes out, beats the crap out of him, walks away. End of show. Theory comes out, tries to cash in, beat down, walk away. End of show. This happens for months. Let's see. I'm trying to remember if they're doing TLC again this year. Basically, that happens until TLC, when Karrion Kross takes on Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship, because by this point, Karrion Kross has been drafted over to Raw. Theory stays on SmackDown, Karrion Kross is on Raw, and Theory is like, yes, I don't have to deal with Karrion Kross. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. So we go all the way to TLC, where Karrion Kross becomes the new WWE champion. That might happen sooner rather than later. I don't know. Because from what I've heard, USA does not like the fact they don't have a champion on Raw. So maybe that happens sooner rather than later. I don't know. We're already into August. So I'm just saying TLC or whatever the December pay-per-view happens to be. Or do it at day one. Sure. Let's do it at day one. Karrion Kross, Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship, just the WWE Championship, because Roman will be defending the Universal title against someone else later. Could be Drew, could be anybody, I don't know. They really haven't built anybody up other than Drew. But Karrion Kross, Roman Reigns at day one. So Roman and Kross just have this big old knocky-draggy, trademark Brian Zane, knockdown drag-out brawl that lasts at least 20 minutes and ends with Karrion Kross getting the win and winning the WWE Championship, taking it to Raw. So now this leaves Theory in an unenviable position of, does he go after Kross or does he go after Roman? Because both of them are big, strong dudes who can really whoop his butt, and have in the past, if you look at Karrion Kross, what he's done. So Theory has to think about this one. Thinks and thinks and thinks. But it's taking him too long because the clock is ticking down. Throw Karrion Kross in there somewhere. But yeah, the clock is ticking down, and he's having like Adam Pearce come up to him and say, hey, Theory, your time's running up with the briefcase. You're going to have to cash it in soon or you're going to lose it. So this happens up until he's like, because he's scared. He doesn't have the backup anymore. He's scared. He doesn't know who to cash it in on. So this happens all the way up to the week before Money in the Bank. It's like, it's now or never. It's now or never, Theory. You're going to have to cash it in sooner or later. It's like, So he opens up the briefcase and looks over the contract and gets, So then we go to Money in the Bank, next Premium Live event. And it's like, well, Theory hasn't cashed in his briefcase. He's automatically disqualified. But he comes up to Adam Pearce and says, read the contract here. The contract in the briefcase goes from Money in the Bank last year to the day after Money in the Bank this year. So I still have 1 day to cash in. Okay, Theory, but you better hurry because the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, that's going on last. And if you don't cash it in beforehand on either Karrion Kross or Roman Reigns, then it's done. Your contract is null and void. So Theory tries to cash in on Kross after his title match against Cody Rhodes and is completely obliterated. He can't cash it in because Kross just beats him down too much. So he kind of doesn't beat him down fully where he's unconscious, but he just kind of crawls away and like, So then Roman Reigns is taking on, I don't know. Let's draft AJ Styles over to SmackDown for the last draft that I talked about earlier. He's taking on AJ Styles, and miracle of miracles, AJ Styles just happens to pull the upset on Roman Reigns and becomes the new Universal Champion. He's celebrating, his theme's playing when wham! Theory comes out, levels AJ with the briefcase right across the back, just keeps on boom, 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 picks him up on his shoulders, gives him the A-Town down. Cashes in. We are like seconds before the match is supposed to start. The Money in the Bank ladder match is supposed to start. Actually, no, wait a minute. Let me just kind of reconfigure everything here. The Money in the Bank ladder match goes on before Roman versus AJ for the Universal title. So that makes more sense because now we are counting down the minutes. It's like, okay, we gotta hurry up. You gotta cash in now because once the event goes off the air, you're done. You can't cash in anymore. It's like, okay. And then hits the A-Town down. Michael Cole is just screaming, we gotta go. 1, 2, fade to black. Now, I know that will piss a lot of people off, but hear me out. It plays into the next night on Raw, where nobody knows what happened. And, this is something so big, they have to address it on Raw. Yeah, it's for the SmackDown Universal title, but they have to address it on Raw. So, the next night on Raw, out comes Adam Pearce. Raw begins with Adam Pearce in the backstage area with his arms crossed, saying, I would like to address what happened last night at Money in the Bank. Before the event went off air, we saw Theory pin AJ Styles, and it ended with a 2 count. Per rules of the Money in the Bank briefcase, contract, whatever, Theory was unable to cash in at the time. Henceforth, trying to think how he could word this. Theory was unable to cash in before the... No, he did... While Theory was able to cash in... Here we go. I got it now. While Theory was able to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, he was unable to beat AJ Styles before the end of the event. Therefore, AJ Styles is still Universal Champion, and Theory has lost his Money in the Bank privileges. So this all leads into Friday night on SmackDown. Theory is red hot. He's like, I had you beat AJ. I had you down for 3. We're gonna go again. Which will all lead into a legitimate match. What will be the next pay-per-view? Maybe SummerSlam? AJ Styles versus Theory for the Universal title. Which Theory will win? What do you think? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd really love to read your opinion. While you're down there, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. In the description, you're going to see all my social media and all the ways you can help support this channel. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Reddit. You can pick up your Irish Bandit merchandise at my Redbubble store in the link down below. And you can also purchase your copy of Shade Falling, my very first novel, in that link as well. You can get it exclusively on Amazon. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get the novel for free. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, tap the bell and you'll be notified whenever a brand new video goes live. I will be back on Thursday with my top 5 favorite performances by one of my favorite actors, Tom Hanks. And next week, get ready for the party to end all parties, because in what is too big for one video, I am going to be giving you my pitch for an S Club 7 reunion over 2 videos. And you'll see why I had to make it 2 videos next week. So be sure to join me for that. Guys, thank you for joining me for this video, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon.